Captain Ethan Hayes was a seasoned explorer and captain of the starship Resolute. His mission, to chart unexplored territories and establish new trade routes for the Galactic Federation. One evening, while traversing the remote regions of space, Ethan's ship intercepted a distress signal. It was faint and erratic, originating from a derelict vessel drifting aimlessly through space. Ethan, driven by a sense of duty and curiosity, ordered his crew to approach the vessel. As they docked, they discovered the ship was in disrepair, its systems failing. Among the wreckage, they found a lone survivor, a red-haired female alien, unconscious and clinging to life. Ethan carried her to the medical bay where the ship's doctor worked tirelessly to stabilize her. Her red hair, striking against her pale skin, seemed almost to glow. She was unlike anyone Ethan had ever encountered. Days passed before the alien woman regained consciousness. When she did, her green eyes were filled with confusion and fear. Ethan was there, a reassuring presence in the sterile med bay. "You're safe now," he said gently. "I'm Captain Ethan Hayes. What's your name?" She hesitated, her voice barely a whisper. "My name is Leora. Thank you for saving me." Ethan nodded, relieved to see her awake. "What happened to your ship, Leora?" Leora's expression darkened as she recounted her story. She was a vagabond, constantly on the run from those who sought to exploit her for her unique abilities. Her ship had been ambushed by pirates, and she barely escaped with her life. Ethan listened intently, feeling a mix of anger and protectiveness. "You're safe here," he repeated. "We'll make sure no one harms you." As Leora recovered, Ethan and his crew welcomed her into their ranks. Despite her initial wariness, she gradually began to trust them. Ethan took a personal interest in her safety, ensuring she was always under his watchful eye. Leora's abilities, a rare and powerful form of telekinesis, made her a target for those who wished to use her as a weapon. Ethan vowed to protect her, no matter the cost. One evening, as they navigated through a dense asteroid field, the Resolute was attacked by a group of mercenaries. Ethan quickly realized they were after Leora. "Get to the safe room," Ethan shouted, but Leora refused to leave his side. "I'm not running anymore," she said, her eyes blazing with determination. Together, they fought off the mercenaries, their teamwork and trust in each other proving to be their greatest strength. After the battle, Ethan and Leora's bond grew stronger. They spent more time together, sharing stories and learning about each other's pasts. Ethan was fascinated by Leora's resilience and strength, while Leora admired Ethan's unwavering sense of duty and honor. One night, as they sat under the stars on the Resolute's observation deck, Leora opened up about her fears. "I've always been alone, Ethan, always running, but with you I feel safe." Ethan reached out, taking her hand in his. "You don't have to run anymore, Leora. We'll face whatever comes together." Their connection deepened, their shared experiences forging a bond that neither had anticipated. The Resolute continued its mission, but now, it was not just exploring new territories. It was also protecting and nurturing a love that grew stronger with each passing day. Despite their efforts to stay hidden, news of Leora's presence on the Resolute spread. Her unique abilities were highly sought after, and it wasn't long before a powerful warlord, known for capturing and enslaving beings with extraordinary powers, set his sights on her. Ethan and his crew found themselves constantly on the run, evading the warlord's forces at every turn. Leora's telekinetic abilities proved invaluable, but the strain of being hunted took its toll on her. She was determined to fight back, but the relentless pursuit began to wear down her spirit. One evening, as they took a momentary respite on a remote, uninhabited moon, Ethan found Leora staring out at the stars, her expression a mix of exhaustion and resolve. "We can't keep running forever," she said, her voice tinged with frustration. "We need to find a way to stop him." Ethan approached, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "I know. We can't let him keep hunting us, but we need to be smart about this. We'll find a way to end this once and for all." Leora turned to him, her green eyes reflecting the determination he felt. "I believe in you, Ethan. Together we can stop him." Ethan devised a daring plan to confront the warlord and end his reign of terror. They would lure him into a trap, using the Resolute as bait. It was risky, but it was their only chance to secure Leora's freedom and put an end to the constant threat. The crew of the Resolute rallied around Ethan and Leora, their loyalty unwavering. Each member took on a critical role in the plan, preparing the ship and themselves for the impending confrontation. As the day of the ambush approached, the tension aboard the Resolute was palpable. Ethan and Leora shared a quiet moment together in the ship's observation deck, the stars a comforting presence above them. "Are you sure about this?" Leora asked, her voice filled with concern. Ethan nodded, his gaze steady. "I am. We can't live in fear. We have to fight for our future." Leora smiled, her confidence bolstered by Ethan's resolve. "Then let's end this. Together." The day of the confrontation arrived, and the Resolute sent out a signal designed to lure the warlord into their trap. The warlord, driven by his desire to capture Leora, took the bait. His fleet descended upon the Resolute, and a fierce battle ensued. Ethan and his crew fought valiantly, their determination fueling their every move. Leora used her telekinesis to protect the ship, deflecting attacks and disabling enemy vessels. Ethan led the charge, his tactical brilliance and unwavering courage inspiring his crew. As the battle raged on, the warlord himself boarded the Resolute, determined to capture Leora. Ethan confronted him in a climactic showdown, their duel a test of strength and will. "You can't win," the warlord sneered, his eyes glinting with malice. "She's mine." Ethan's eyes blazed with fury. "Not while I'm alive." With a final powerful blow, Ethan defeated the warlord, ending his reign of terror. The crew of the Resolute cheered, their victory hard-earned and bittersweet. Leora, free from the constant threat of capture, embraced Ethan, tears of relief and joy streaming down her face. "We did it," she whispered, her voice filled with emotion. Ethan held her close, his heart swelling with pride and love. "Yes, we did. Together." With the warlord defeated, Leora thought she could finally breathe easy. However, peace was short-lived. The warlord's defeat created a power vacuum that drew the attention of other opportunistic forces. Mercenary groups and rival warlords began vying for control of the territories he had once dominated, and rumors spread of a formidable new leader rising to power. Ethan knew they couldn't let their guard down. "We need to be prepared for anything," he told his crew during a briefing. The fall of the warlord might have brought temporary relief, but it also brought new threats. Leora, now fully integrated into the crew, used her telekinetic abilities to help fortify the ship. She had become an invaluable member of the team, her bond with Ethan growing stronger every day. Despite the looming threats, their shared moments of quiet and mutual support provided solace. As they fortified the Resolute, Ethan received a cryptic message from an old ally, Commander Tarek of the Galactic Federation. The message warned of a shadowy figure known only as the Overseer, who had taken interest in Leora's abilities. According to Tarek, the Overseer was building an army and had access to advanced technology that made him a formidable adversary. "We have to find out more about this Overseer," Ethan said, his mind racing. "If he's as dangerous as Tarek suggests, we need to stop him before he becomes unstoppable." Leora agreed. "We've come this far, Ethan. We can't let another tyrant rise to power." Determined to uncover the truth about the Overseer, Ethan and Leora set a course for the Galactic Federation's headquarters. They hoped to gain access to classified intelligence and enlist the Federation's help in their quest. As they traveled, the crew of the Resolute worked tirelessly preparing for the battles that lay ahead. Upon arrival at the Federation's headquarters, they were greeted by Commander Tarek. He was a seasoned soldier with a stern demeanor but a deep respect for Ethan and his crew. "I'm glad you came," Tarek said. "The Overseer is not just a rumor. He's real, and he's dangerous." Tarek led them to a secure briefing room, where he shared the intelligence they had gathered. Holographic displays showed images of the Overseer's forces and the advanced technology he commanded. "He's been recruiting mercenaries and using some kind of mind control technology to bend them to his will. We believe he's after Leora because of her unique abilities." Leora's face hardened with determination. "We need to stop him before he can use those abilities for his own gain." Tarek nodded. "We're willing to help, but you'll need to infiltrate one of his outposts to gather more intel. It's heavily guarded, but if anyone can do it, it's you." Ethan agreed to the mission, and they began planning the infiltration. Leora's telekinetic powers would be crucial, allowing them to bypass security systems and neutralize threats silently. The crew of the Resolute prepared for the dangerous mission, their resolve unshakable. The night before the mission, Ethan and Leora found a moment of peace on the observation deck. The stars stretched out before them, a reminder of the vastness of their journey. We've faced so much together, Ethan said, his voice soft. Whatever happens, I want you to know that I'm with you, always. Leora smiled, her eyes shining with affection. And I with you, Ethan. Together we can overcome anything. As they stood side by side, they felt the weight of the mission ahead, but also the strength of their bond. They were ready to face the Overseer and whatever challenges lay ahead, confident that their love and determination would guide them through the darkness. The plan to infiltrate the Overseer's outpost was set in motion. Ethan, Leora, and a select group of crew members from the Resolute prepared themselves for the dangerous mission. Disguised as mercenaries, they approached the heavily guarded facility under the cover of darkness. The outpost was a sprawling complex, fortified with high walls and guarded by heavily armed soldiers. As they neared the entrance, Leora used her telekinetic abilities to disable the security cameras and sensors, allowing them to slip inside undetected. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. Soldiers patrolled the corridors, and the air buzzed with the hum of advanced technology. The team moved stealthily, navigating the maze-like structure with precision. Their goal was to reach the central command room, where they could access the Overseer's plans and gather crucial intelligence. As they crept through the corridors, they encountered several guards. Leora's telekinesis proved invaluable, allowing her to silently subdue their enemies without raising the alarm. Ethan led the team with unwavering determination, his sharp instincts and tactical expertise guiding them through the labyrinthine outpost. Finally, they reached the central command room. Ethan and Leora worked quickly to hack into the system, downloading data and extracting information about the Overseer's plans. What they discovered was alarming. The Overseer had developed a device capable of amplifying Leora's abilities, intending to use it to control entire fleets and subjugate planets. "We have to destroy this device," Leora said, her voice filled with resolve. "We can't let him use my powers for such destruction." Ethan nodded, his eyes hardening with determination. "We need to find the device and put an end to this once and for all." With the intel secured, the team prepared to make their escape. However, their presence had not gone entirely unnoticed. As they made their way back through the corridors, alarms blared and the facility went into lockdown. "We're running out of time," Ethan said, his voice tense. "We need to move, now." The team fought their way through the outpost, facing increasing resistance from the Overseer's forces. Leora used her telekinesis to create barriers and clear paths, while Ethan led the charge with unwavering courage. The intensity of the battle tested their limits, but their bond and determination kept them moving forward. As they neared the exit, they encountered a squad of heavily armed soldiers blocking their path. The situation seemed dire, but Leora's eyes blazed with determination. She focused her powers, creating a powerful shock wave that knocked the soldiers off their feet and cleared the way. "Let's go," she shouted, and the team sprinted towards the exit. They burst through the doors and raced towards their waiting ship, the Resolute. Ethan signaled for immediate takeoff and the ship's engines roared to life. As they ascended into the sky, the outpost's defenses fired upon them, but the Resolute's advanced shields held strong. Once they were safely in space, Ethan and Leora reviewed the data they had collected. They had a clear picture of the Overseer's plans and the location of the device. The next step was to confront him directly and destroy the device before it could be used. As they plotted their course, Ethan turned to Leora, his eyes filled with admiration and love. "You were incredible back there, Leora. We couldn't have done it without you." Leora smiled, her heart swelling with affection. "We make a great team, Ethan. Together, we can face anything." Their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face the challenges ahead. With their bond stronger than ever and their determination unshakable, they prepared to confront the Overseer and ensure that his reign of terror would come to an end. Armed with the intelligence they had gathered, Ethan and Leora prepared for their final confrontation with the Overseer. The location of the device was deep within a heavily guarded fortress on a remote planet known for its treacherous terrain. The Resolute crew knew that this mission would be their most dangerous yet, but they were resolute in their determination to end the Overseer's reign. Ethan briefed his crew, his voice firm and steady. "This is it. We know where the device is and we know what we have to do. We'll split into 2 teams. One team will create a diversion to draw out the bulk of the Overseer's forces. The other team, led by Leora and me, will infiltrate the fortress and destroy the device." The crew members nodded, their faces set with determination. They trusted Ethan and Leora, and they were ready to follow them into the heart of danger. As the Resolute approached the planet, Ethan and Leora shared a quiet moment together. "We've come so far, Ethan," Leora said softly. "I couldn't have done this without you." Ethan took her hand, his grip reassuring. "And I couldn't have done it without you. Together, we can end this." The Resolute landed in a concealed area, and the two teams disembarked. The diversion team, led by the ship's tactical officer, set out to create chaos and draw the enemy away from the fortress. Explosions echoed through the valleys as the diversion team launched their assault. Ethan, Leora, and their infiltration team moved swiftly and silently toward the fortress. Leora's telekinesis proved invaluable once again, allowing them to bypass security systems and neutralize guards without raising the alarm. As they penetrated deeper into the fortress, the tension mounted. Finally, they reached the central chamber where the device was housed. It was an imposing structure, surrounded by advanced technology and heavily guarded by elite soldiers. The Overseer himself stood at the center, his presence commanding and menacing. "You've come a long way," the Overseer said, his voice cold and mocking. "But this ends here." Ethan stepped forward, his eyes locked on the Overseer. "You're wrong. This is just the beginning." The final battle began, and it was fierce and chaotic. Ethan and Leora fought side by side, their coordination and trust in each other giving them an edge against the Overseer's forces. Leora's telekinetic powers created barriers and disarmed enemies, while Ethan's combat skills and strategic mind led them closer to the device. The Overseer, realizing he was losing control, activated the device, intending to use it against them. A powerful energy surge emanated from the machine, threatening to overwhelm the room. Leora focused her powers, creating a shield to protect them from the energy waves. "We need to destroy the device now," Leora shouted over the noise. Ethan nodded, determination etched on his face. "Cover me." As Leora held the shield, Ethan charged toward the device. The Overseer moved to intercept him, but Ethan was relentless. He engaged the Overseer in a brutal hand-to-hand combat, each strike a testament to his resolve. With a final decisive blow, Ethan incapacitated the Overseer and reached the device. The energy from the device was growing unstable, and Ethan knew they had only moments left. He looked back at Leora, their eyes meeting in a moment of silent understanding. This was their only chance. "Ethan, you have to get out of there," Leora cried, her voice filled with desperation. Ethan shook his head. "I have to do this. For us. For everyone." With a swift motion, Ethan disabled the device, but the backlash of energy was immense. The room shook and the walls began to crumble. Ethan was thrown back, the force of the explosion knocking the wind out of him. Leora screamed, her telekinesis reaching out to shield Ethan from the worst of the blast. She ran to him, her heart pounding with fear. "Ethan, please stay with me." Ethan's eyes fluttered open and he managed a weak smile. "We did it, Leora. It's over." Tears streamed down Leora's face as she held him. "We did it together. You're going to be okay." The remaining crew members rushed in, helping to stabilize the fortress as it began to collapse. They carried Ethan and Leora to safety, their mission a success. As they regrouped on the Resolute, Ethan received medical attention, his injury severe but not fatal. Leora stayed by his side, her heart full of relief and love. The threat of the Overseer was gone, and the galaxy was safe. They had faced unimaginable dangers and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. As they looked out at the stars, they knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came next, together. Back on the Resolute, Ethan lay in the medbay surrounded by the steady hum of medical equipment. Leora sat by his side holding his hand, her eyes filled with both relief and worry. The battle had taken a toll on both of them, but Ethan's injuries were severe. The ship's doctor, a skilled and compassionate medic named Dr. Allen, worked tirelessly to stabilize Ethan. "He'll recover," Dr. Allen assured Leora. "But it will take time, he's been through a lot." Leora nodded, her grip on Ethan's hand tightening. "Thank you, Doctor." Days turned into weeks as Ethan slowly regained his strength. Leora rarely left his side, her presence a constant source of comfort and support. The crew, having witnessed the bond between their captain and Leora, rallied around them, offering their own support and encouragement. One evening, as the stars outside the ship glimmered softly, Ethan finally opened his eyes. He looked up at Leora, his gaze filled with gratitude and love. "You stayed with me," he said, his voice weak but steady. Leora smiled, tears of relief streaming down her face. "I told you we're in this together. I wasn't going to leave you." Ethan squeezed her hand, his strength slowly returning. "We did it, Leora. We stopped the Overseer." Leora nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "Yes, we did. And now we can start building a future without fear." As Ethan continued to recover, the crew of the Resolute took the opportunity to rest and regroup. They had faced immense challenges, but their victory over the Overseer had brought them closer together. The bond between Ethan and Leora had become a symbol of hope and resilience, inspiring the entire crew. With Ethan's health improving, the Resolute set a course for a peaceful planet where they could spend some time recuperating and rebuilding. The planet, known for its lush landscapes and tranquil environment, was the perfect place for a fresh start. Ethan and Leora stood on the observation deck, looking out at the approaching planet. The green fields and sparkling lakes were a stark contrast to the battles they had fought and the dangers they had faced. It was a place of healing and new beginnings. "We've come so far," Ethan said, his voice filled with wonder. "This place feels like a new start." Leora nodded, her eyes reflecting the same sense of peace. "It is a chance to build something beautiful together." As they landed and disembarked, the crew dispersed to explore and enjoy the serene environment. Ethan and Leora took a walk through the verdant fields, their hearts light and their spirits lifted. They talked about their dreams and plans for the future, no longer overshadowed by the constant threat of danger. One day, while exploring a hidden grove, Ethan turned to Leora, his expression serious yet filled with love. "Leora, these past months have shown me what truly matters. You've brought light into my life, and I can't imagine my future without you." Leora's eyes filled with emotion. "Ethan, you mean everything to me. Together, we've faced the darkest challenges, and I know we can build a bright future." Ethan took her hands in his. "Leora, will you marry me? Will you be my partner in all the adventures to come?" Tears of joy streamed down Leora's face as she nodded. "Yes, Ethan. 1,000 times yes." Their wedding was a simple yet beautiful ceremony, held under the shade of ancient trees with the crew of the Resolute as their witnesses. The air was filled with love and celebration, a testament to the journey they had shared and the future they were beginning. As they exchanged vows, Ethan's voice was strong and clear. "I promise to stand by you, to protect you, and to love you with all my heart." Leora's smile was radiant. "And I promise to stand by you, to support you, and to love you with all my heart." Their kiss sealed their vows, and the crew cheered, their happiness for the couple palpable. As they celebrated, Ethan and Leora knew that their journey was far from over. They had faced incredible challenges and emerged stronger, their love a guiding light in the vastness of space. Together, they continued to explore new worlds, their bond growing deeper with each shared experience. They built a family among the stars, their love and commitment inspiring those around them. As they stood on the observation deck watching the stars, Ethan took Leora's hand in his. "We've come so far, and there's still so much more to see." Leora smiled, her heart full of love and hope. "And we'll face it all together, Ethan. Our journey has just begun." With their love as their guide, Ethan and Leora were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident that they could overcome anything together. The galaxy was vast and filled with unknowns, but with each other by their side, they were prepared for a future filled with adventure, love, and endless possibilities. Peaceful months passed on the tranquil planet, and the crew of the Resolute enjoyed a much-needed respite. Ethan and Leora's love flourished, their bond deepening with each shared moment. They explored the planet, built new memories, and envisioned a future filled with hope and endless possibilities. However, the galaxy's peace was fragile, and old threats had a way of resurfacing. One day, a distress signal reached the Resolute, originating from a nearby star system. A former ally of the Overseer, now seeking to fill the power vacuum, had begun amassing an army and was terrorizing nearby planets. Ethan and Leora knew they couldn't ignore the call for help. Their sense of duty and desire to protect the innocent compelled them to action. They gathered the crew and prepared the Resolute for departure. As they prepared to leave, Ethan addressed the crew. "We've faced incredible challenges before, and we've emerged stronger each time. This new threat must be stopped. We're not just fighting for ourselves, but for the safety and peace of the entire galaxy. The crew, inspired by Ethan's leadership and Leora's strength, stood ready. They had become a family, bound by their shared experiences and unwavering loyalty to one another. Ethan and Leora shared a quiet moment before departure. "Are you ready for this?" Ethan asked, his voice filled with concern. Leora nodded, determination in her eyes. "We faced worse. Together, we can handle anything." The Resolute arrived in the besieged star system, greeted by the sight of burning planets and desperate calls for help. The new enemy, a ruthless warlord named Threx, had taken control with an iron fist, using fear and violence to dominate. Ethan and Leora devised a plan to confront Threx and liberate the system. They would infiltrate his stronghold, disable his command center, and rally the oppressed to rise against him. It was a dangerous mission, but the crew was resolute in their determination. The battle was fierce and chaotic. The Resolute's advanced technology and skilled crew gave them an edge, but Threx's forces were formidable. As the crew fought bravely, Ethan and Leora led a strike team to infiltrate Threx's command center. Inside the stronghold, they encountered heavy resistance. Leora's telekinetic abilities were crucial, deflecting attacks and creating barriers. Ethan's tactical brilliance guided them through the maze-like structure. They fought side by side, their bond an unbreakable force. At the heart of the stronghold, they confronted Threx. He was a towering figure, exuding power and menace. "You've come a long way," Threx sneered, "but your journey ends here." Ethan stepped forward, his eyes locked on Threx. "No, Threx, it's your reign of terror that ends here." The battle was intense, a clash of wills and strength. Threx's forces began to falter as the crew of the Resolute and the oppressed people of the system rose against them. Ethan and Leora fought with every ounce of their strength, their love and determination driving them forward. With a final decisive blow, Ethan incapacitated Threx, ending his tyrannical rule. The stronghold's defenses crumbled, and the system was liberated. The people, inspired by the bravery of the Resolute's crew, cheered and celebrated their newfound freedom. As the dust settled, Ethan and Leora stood together, their hearts filled with relief and triumph. They had faced incredible odds and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. The crew of the Resolute was hailed as heroes, their efforts bringing peace and hope to the galaxy. Ethan and Leora knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in their love and the strength of their crew. They returned to the tranquil planet, now a symbol of their victory and resilience. As they stood on the observation deck watching the stars, Ethan took Leora's hand in his. "We've come so far and there's still so much more to see," Ethan said, his voice filled with wonder. Leora smiled, her heart full of love and hope. "And we'll face it all together, Ethan. Our journey has just begun." With their love as their guide, Ethan and Leora were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident that they could overcome anything together. The galaxy was vast and filled with unknowns, but with each other by their side, they were prepared for a future filled with adventure, love, and endless possibilities.